So today we're going to be doing two different types of lateral raises. So those are the two lateral raises that I usually prescribe my clients. And we'll mix in front raises as well, because sometimes I have people do a set of lateral to front. Yeah, we're going to cover those like 3-ish bases in this video. So to start, we're just going to start with lightweight. Shoulders start super duper weak. They get really strong really fast, but there's no point to overly push the weight to start. So we're just going to start with 5 in the video too, so we can overly accentuate what we're really supposed to be doing with our form. So what we're doing is nice, stable base of support. I have my shoes on today because these pants are really long. Anyway, nice, stable base of support, nice, tight core. And what we're doing is trying to keep a nice locked but not locked out elbow. So soft elbow, but in a locked position to where if somebody came by and went to hit your arm, your elbow's not moving. So soft elbow means not locked out completely, so a slight bend in it is what I refer to as soft elbow. Then when we are going up in the motion, we are not letting our elbow move any further. So we're keeping it in a soft bend with a locked position to where when we move, our elbows are not moving at all. So we're not having our triceps in this exercise. We are strictly working our shoulders. So we are going to brace our feet, brace our core. I like to start by rolling my shoulders back and down to keep my scaps down and back in place to really squeeze and raise up through my delts. All right, so we're doing just lateral raises. Tight core, tight balance of support with your feet, if I can speak today. And then we are going to do soft bend in our elbows, keeping them locked in position, and we are going to pretend like we're trying to lift something up and pressing through our shoulders. So again, pretending like something's right here, and we are trying to drive it up with our force, therefore pulling the weight. We don't want to pull the weight, and we don't want to start by pulling here with a locked out elbow. So again, soft elbows help with this because we are keeping a slight bend. So we're really driving through our shoulders versus keeping locked out elbows where we feel like we're pulling at our wrists a lot more. So tight core, soft elbows, in a locked position, and driving up. So this is the first type of lateral raises, is just getting to level across our shoulders. So all the way across here is completely level. Again, not locking out and flexing up at the top. So just to level. I like a good pause at the top, means that you have a weight that you can control, nice, slow, and control. So again, not trying to overly push the weight. Everyone that likes to do this motion and get the weights up, you're not doing what your shoulders can do for weight. You're doing what your body's momentum can get up with weight with a slight bit of your shoulders strength. So again, whatever you can slow and control, slow pause at the top, control it back down too. If you control the weight back down through the motion, it's a weight that you are strong enough to handle. If you have to let it drop every time you get it to the top, you're not strong enough to control that weight. Let's drop it down and try and build back up. All right, the next lateral raise that I have my clients do is lateral to front raises. So it's really, we're just incorporating a front raise on top of it. It's a lot quicker, just burn out, and we're working all parts of our shoulder through that exercise. So same thing, good base of support, nice braced core, soft elbows, but in a locked position. And we're going to drive up into a lateral raise. Reach everything, a nice straight line all the way across, bringing it back down. We're going to rotate our palms to where our palms and our fingertips are facing our legs. And we are going to, same thing, tight core, soft elbows, driving like we're pushing something straight up again from our shoulders. And again, just to level. I don't want this, and I don't want this, and we're not thrusting it up. So again, controlling. So lateral raise, rotating our palms to front raise, just to level is 1 and 2 and 3. Okay. Usually I program about 3 sets of like 6 to 8 for those, because they burn out a lot, because you're really doing 2 reps is 1 rep in the set. Next one that we do is a full range of motion lateral raise. So this is really just built for building our end range. This is a lot more of my mobility type people that are looking to really just be strong in all ranges of motion and not just in that middle range of our range of motion. So that's where you get really nice looking muscles doing this. This is where we get very strong, defined range of motion. And again, defined muscles, because you are working parts of that muscle that you don't usually work. A lot of us in our exercise programs are only working, this is your full range of motion. We are only putting heavy load within this middle range. And so what functional range conditioning does is put a load, which is heavy because it's not heavy weight, just putting a load in general in that end range. So again, full range, working this range. If we're just building between this range here, you just putting any sort of load there is heavy exercise in that range of motion because usually we don't train it. So when you start training it, you're going to get better gains and you're going to start getting really strong and a lot more mobility in those areas. And then we're helping prevent injury because once we get past that range of motion that we're really strong in, and we're actually training range of motion where we're not so strong in, here it's a lot harder for us to get injured because we've controlled this range of motion before. But if all we're doing is working right here and then something happens to where we're having to have strength in this range of motion, but we're not used to training this, that's when injuries occur, and that's with every single joint in our body. Anyway, get off of my little TED talk right there. So the next the next lateral raise that we're doing for a shoulder raise is our full range of motion lateral raises. So again, start with a super lightweight. If you have to start with a 1 pounder, start with a 1 pounder. Tight core, good stable base of support. Same thing, soft elbows, but completely locked out to where we're not overly hyper extending any of our elbows or our wrists and making everything else overly strained. So nice, slow and control. Again, like we're driving something off of the top of our delts. But here is where we would usually stop, and we're going to control it all the way to the top. So wherever your range of motion is at, to the top there. I don't want you squeezing and scrunching up over here because then we're just getting our traps involved. So instead, we're just slow, control, full range of motion as high as you can get with the lateral raise. For me, that's right here, or I'm starting to scrunch into my traps. So here, control it again. So nice lighter weight that you can control. Mid-range will feel a little bit easier because you're probably going to be doing lighter weight for this than you usually do for lateral raises. So right here, probably pretty easy. Once we start getting here, it gets a lot more difficult because this is the area that we don't usually train. I'm already shaky. And then controlling it back down and ending the rep. So those are the 3 different lateral raises that I like to program. So on this video, when you find this, it will be the 3 different ones, and you can section out and find which one that you've been programmed for your specific program from me. Anyway, so again, to cover that, we have regular lateral raises just coming to level. We have lateral to front raises, so we're doing a lateral raise, rotating our hands and working those front delts in a front raise for 1 rep, for 2 reps. Then we have full range of motion lateral raises. So again, it's starting where we would in a normal base, raising up through that normal range of motion that we always work in a lateral raise, coming up and reaching to the top of our range of motion, but not scrunching into our traps. So again, just to that end range that we have with our shoulders ability to lateral raise, and coming all the way back down, slow and control. And that's our lateral raises.